Just starting your collection? You've seen these fragrances. Here are whether or not they're worth it and some cheaper alternatives. What's going on, guys? My name's Neeb. Welcome back to AROMATIX. If you're not already joined in the family, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because the goal is 200K. I was looking for the plaque. There it is. We want the gold. I don't even know what colors they come in because every single day I'm just buying new fragrance and that's all I'm focusing on. So let's go ahead and get started with some of the most generic, mass-appealing, beginner-friendly fragrances. And all of those come with a positive connotation except for one of these. Creed Aventus. And the reason is because this, while being marketed as the best men's fragrance of all time, thanks Jeremy, and also when you walk into Saks and Neiman Marcus, being pushed down your throat, there's some truths to that and also not so much truths. First point, Jeremy's of best fragrance of all time. I'd argue and say it's the most masculine and the best in that territory or category, yes. The second part, the Neimans and Saks of this is the best fragrance you can buy and women love it, and it's literally gotten to that point. You guys want compliments and numbers? The ladies, they love it. It used to be true. It used to be true before they watered it down because of regulations. So this, in 2025, it's not worth the money, gentlemen. There are a lot of better fragrances and alternatives to this fragrance that make it in so much more of a potent level. So is it good? It is absolutely good. But the performance is like 4 to 5 hours, bro. I have sprayed this on a total of like 12 to 15 times, and the scent profile is a lot more musky. It's not nearly as birchy. It doesn't have the same saturation. And so for that, skip this altogether, boys. Skip it all together and go for Club de Nuit Intense, man. I'm holding the Eau de Parfum concentration, but I would personally recommend, especially if you're a beginner, to go with the Extrait. The reason is, this is more projecting. It's a lot more intense. And if you're just discovering the scent profile, then you don't know what this used to smell like. It was a lot more intense. This might be a little bit too rugged. If you get the Extrait, it's a lot more polished, refined, and it's the latest version. Club de Nuit Extrait also lasts almost the entire day on clothing. On skin, it's going to give you about 4 to 6 hours, but it doesn't have that much projection. It's not going to be overbearing. I would say that one spray of the Extrait is about 4 to 5 sprays of this. I'm not even joking. Is it a good fragrance? Yes. Is it a lasting fragrance? No. And so the equation should have some balance, but this one is completely teeter-totting onto one side, making this no longer worthy of the purchase, okay? It is sad. I want to give them credit where credit is due. Creed, you guys killed it with the scent profile. And it sucks that they regulated you guys into watering it down. They had no control, so they said. Some of the main ingredients with this one was identified as harmful chemicals, and instead of reformulating the scent, similar to this, they kept it the same and just watered it down. So why not drop the price a little bit or give us something that goes in a different territory direction? They tried to do that with Absolute, but it made it more barbershoppy, etc. So this, pass. And it'll also make you feel better that you're not spending more than $50. So if you're looking for where you can find these fragrances, check the links down in the description or shoparomatics.com, where I have most of these, including some of these original fragrances as well, for a fraction of the price. Don't buy retail. If you are, you're up to begin with. Moving on to the next one. You have definitely seen your Sauvage Eau de Parfum, and it is absolutely still worth it. This is a phenomenal ambroxan fragrance. Ambergris, peppers, and citruses with lavender at the heart. This gets so much attention and compliments every single time to this day. At one point in time, it was getting like way too much. Like I'd smell it everywhere. But it's been long enough that I rock this and I don't smell anyone wearing something like this. Very fresh, very projecting, very long lasting. I would personally recommend the Eau de Parfum. It's not as intensive as the EDT, and it also lasts a little bit longer than the EDT. However, if you're looking for something that is a little bit more budget friendly while still maintaining the quality, this is Zenith Blue by French Avenue. A fantastic take and the newest take on something like this. Both of these, I think we have them available. It's up to you. This is still worth it. This is worth it. If you're on a budget, there you go. That's all I'm going to say. Both of these last at least 6 to 8 hours. I would say the main objective difference is going to be the ambergris or the ambroxan in Sauvage is slightly better, but this is going to give you the absolute best ambergris at the price point. Moving on to the next one is Bleu de Chanel. If you guys have seen this, a lot of people wear it. A lot of people wear it to the office to this day. And nowadays, man, its relevance, it's boring. It's boring. It's boring. I'm sorry. It's blue shower gel. It's clean. It's not a bad fragrance, but it's so boring. In the air, it might get complimented. It might get like, hey, bro, you smell clean. You smell good. cool, but it's not relevant in 2025. Chanel took a backseat for like at least 10 years, and they finally dropped the L'Exclusif. In my opinion, a more ambery, raunchy, and Middle Eastern version. It adds the notes of ambers, maybe even some resins, that gives it this raunchy, borderline bakhur vibe, incense vibe, that it has over this. What's trending right now is Middle Eastern fragrances. I've been grandfathering these Middle Eastern fragrances since their inception when they smelled like water and alcohol, okay? And they've come such a long way. So make sure to subscribe so you can catch all those fragrances, new, old, goodies, baddies, whatever you want to call them. These will probably get the baddies. It doesn't last as long, and it's not going to be as mass appealing as this, but I really enjoy it. So fresh, traditional blue, still having this scent profile in the backbone of the DNA, with that added style of incense, with the added ambery bakhur vibes, even having something that's similar to their less exclusive Le Lion. So more premium and more expensive. The price point is pretty damn high, man. $300 for this 100 ml is crazy. The scent, it's quality. Longevity, though, 6 to 7 hours. It sucks. And as it dries down, it gets much, much closer to the original Bleu de Chanel, and then it leaves me desiring and craving the opening. But that opening is so good. Exotic, oriental, but also mass appealing and blue. Might not be for everyone, but I love it. Kind of reminds me of like the direction that Y Elixir took. It took this DNA and modernized it with the same vibes of the amber, the pine, the bakhur. That's this response, basically. A modern take of what's trending Middle Eastern. So next fragrance is Y EDP. Although it's not the trending one, the modern take, the Y Elixir, that one wasn't really appreciated as much as this. And this one is still relevant, considering the fact that it's still in the blue territory, still has something more modern, youthful, sweet, aromatic. There are a couple of different aspects and more dimensions, in my opinion, than this. Projection, more youthful, and not necessarily a better fragrance, but it is more so with the times. I smell this shit a lot now. I'll be honest, I smell it a lot. It's almost become like the Sauvage of the modern day, but it's still damn good, and it works. If you want the incensey version or the more modern Middle Eastern version, check out the Elixir. Similar vibes as this, but done with the Y DNA. I'm actually going to be testing both of them side by side and seeing which one I enjoy more. Bleu de Chanel L'Exclusif versus the Y Elixir. All right, this fragrance is good. I would personally say try and get the original. If not, the next best thing would be Odyssey Mega by Afnan. I gifted it to one of my buddies who goes to the gym. He really enjoyed the scent. I couldn't say no, so I gave it to him. Last but not least is Louis Vuitton's Imagination. If this is one of your first fragrances, you might be kind of getting into fragrance with an unrealistic expectation to price. You don't have to spend this much money to get similar scent profiles or longevity, etc. Is it worth it? I think so. Okay, I think it's a great fragrance. But instead of jumping right into $350, $450, figure out whether or not it's worth it for you through one of the cheaper alternatives that get respectably close, really close. This is called Marwa by Arabiat Prestige. For $50, you don't feel like you got bent over like Imagination, okay? This, it's like, okay, I don't really like it, or I do like it, and then you can decide whether or not that it's not hitting the same as Imagination and go for something like Imagination. You won't feel like you got, basically. This one is one of the people's favorite. It does have a little bit more emphasis around the soap. The tea is still there. It's fresh, it's clean. It smells like hotel luxury soap with a side of green tea. There's one more fragrance that I think is slightly closer because of the tea, the green tea.
A few minutes later.
And it's this one right here. It's called Essence de Blanc by French Avenue. But all in all, I feel a lot of people have enjoyed Marwa a little bit more. It's significantly more green, herbal tea, and this one's significantly more towards the soapy side. Longevity, this might have it by a little bit, but the projection and stuff is great on this one. I don't get less than 6 hours with Essence de Blanc. Closer, potentially, not nearly as soapy as Marwa. So you be the judge. This one's the one that's getting the best reviews, but if you want a closer approach towards the tea, it would be Essence de Blanc. So both of these fragrances is around 40, this is around 50, are much, much less, $300 less. But Imagination, still my collection, and I would buy it again. I'm not saying don't buy it. Go for it. But if you're looking for the best alternatives, since we already did the Clone War, I'm not going to remake it. These would be the two. And they are absolutely worth the scent profile. Highly positively reviewed as well. And one of the best ones, if not the actual best one, by Louis Vuitton. $300. is crazy. So if you're just getting into fragrances, these are probably the ones that you've seen the most of, and all of these are worthy, and they're great scents. Don't let them tell you otherwise. But there are some that I don't think are worth it, that they will try and use marketing, that they will try and convince you into buying. If you're absolutely fixated on getting it, get it. Some of them do have an objective level of quality, and I've told you that in all of these fragrances, such as EDP. I would still recommend you to try and get this if you really love Odyssey Mega and it's just not scratching the itch, much like these other fragrances. But if you're on a budget, considering today's economy, then these are also budget-friendly versions that will scratch the itch. The only one that I will say here isn't necessarily anything that will get that itch scratched is the Bleu de Chanel. There is one alternative that I would recommend, and it would be Imperial Blue by Zena. But even then, understand that Chanel's one that's really hard to crack, and they give you objective quality. This is going to be a step down, but still very respectably close and surprisingly long-lasting. Because the concentration or percentage of oil is a little higher than this, it will take the scent profile slightly darker and richer. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Neeb. Thank you so much for tuning back into Aromatics. Make sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss videos and suggestions, and always 100% truth. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.